Now, if that sounded quite ominous, good, because this is the tale of a Fungosaurus Rex that tried to make a Minecraft video and everything went horribly wrong. As you can see, I'm still around, fortunately, but that's about the only good news I have for the start of this tale. Not only from a gameplay, but also a technical standpoint, this has been an absolute disaster, so let's just dive straight in. Now, at first glance, things might appear quite normal. We're flying over the mesa, it's a beautiful sunny day, and we're heading back into the city. But if you look closely, you might notice that something feels a little off. And you would be 100% correct, because this is not actually my recorded footage. No, this is replay footage. You see, when I started recording this episode, I just didn't hit record and then proceeded to record about 2 hours worth of footage, all of which was never recorded. Yeah. So anyway, seeing as we have the wish.com footage, we might as well add the wish.com status bar. And there we go. Now, usually I leave myself little voice notes to keep me informed of what I was doing, especially if it's a long recording like this one, and obviously, seeing as I have no recording, I have no voice notes, so yeah, I'm checking random chests. I think I was making a golden helmet because I couldn't find my golden helmet. I put it somewhere, I forgot, and yeah, right here, I have no idea what I was up to. So, yeah, let's just check out the security footage. Alright, so yes, I was making a golden helmet. I needed emeralds, so I chopped up some bookshelves to get emeralds from the traders, and then I used those to buy the enchanted books that I was after. Now, seeing as I never really do well in the Nether, I brewed up some fire resistance potions just to make sure I can survive, and while these were cooking, I was busy cooking up a plan, and it was a good plan. First, I would take the portal up to the Nether roof. From there, I would go and find myself a soul sand valley. I would then take a Nether portal back to the overworld, move far enough away so that the roof portal is out of range, build a new portal, and go back into the Nether itself. And it all sounded so perfect. I would then use the same method to get back. Simple, right? So it started off well enough. I went through the portal to the Nether roof, and then proceeded to find myself a nice big soul sand valley. After that, I quickly constructed the portal and I stepped through. Phase 1 complete, but yeah, that's where things got a little bit hairy, because I spawned here, deep down in the bowels of the overworld, in a dark cave, teeming with monsters, lava cascading down the one side, water down the other. But it's alright, because I was strong and brave. I proceeded to place down a few torches to keep the monsters at bay, and then just took a little look around to see exactly what I'd gotten myself into, and it was a horrible place. That's when I noticed the monsters were advancing, and I practiced some of the worst archery you've ever seen in your life. But let's just watch the footage. And at this point, I was certain that this hardcore adventure was finally over. As you can see from my wish.com status bar, I had half a heart. And I still wasn't out of the woods, because a skeleton with one well-placed shot could still easily end this adventure. But fortunately, that didn't happen. I had survived probably the most harrowing and terrifying moment I have had this entire series. And now, it was time for revenge. So I flew back up, I perched myself neatly on top of these blocks over here, put up a couple of torches just to make sure anything doesn't spawn nearby. I know it can't really happen, but you know, I was a bit shaken. I then proceeded to masterfully take out the villains that almost ended my entire hardcore series, and yeah, there were quite a bit fewer of them than there were earlier, but still, you know. So there we go. Once I was sure it was safe, I decided it was time to get the heck out of Dodge. I made a beeline for the portal and made my way back to the Nether roof. And although this had almost ended a tragedy, I still had faith in the plan. So I did what made sense at the time. I built another nether portal a little bit further away, stepped through it once again, and this time I emerged to a much friendlier overworld. And with the plan back on track, all I had to do was fly away, build a new nether portal, and enter the nether itself. Now the reason I was doing all of this was to find some dried ghasts, because the happy ghast has been a feature of the game for quite a while now, and I haven't actually gone to get myself one. And the whole point behind this elaborate plan was to make it as safe and as easy as possible. As you can see, it didn't quite turn out that way. Fortunately, all I had to deal with was one skeleton and one very unhappy ghast, which was just spitting fireballs at me, but it's quite easy to get rid of those, and I dealt with it accordingly and swiftly. But now it was time to scour the Soul Sand Valley and find myself some dried ghasts. And I'll admit I thought this was going to be the hard part of it all, but it turned out to be the easiest. In fact, in no time at all, I had managed to find 4 dried ghasts, and even though the last one was a little bit tricky to get at because it spawned in mid-air and I had to build a little platform for it, it still wasn't exactly hard. So I had my 4 dried ghasts in less than 10 minutes, and I was ready to head home. Where the next part of our story begins, because when I entered the portal to go back up to the nether roof, I discovered that my portals had become confuddled and it was linking back to the nether itself, which means I was stuck 25,000 blocks from home, and I couldn't utilize the nether to make the trip any shorter. I would have to fly back home. Fortunately, I had plenty of rockets, but as I said, I had 25,000 blocks to go. And I was about halfway home before I realized I wasn't recording, but I managed to hit the button just in time for us to see the castle blink into view, telling us that we have finally made our way back home. And with that done, we can now start with the second part of this episode, which is of course to build these ghasts a house. I mean, just look at these poor creatures. They look so dry, so unhappy, and we're going to make their lives so much better. They are going to have the absolute best home that they have ever seen. Now, first thing I need to do is select a location, and I already have a spot picked out for that. And then, of course, I'm going to need to collect a bunch of materials, because these 4 guys, they deserve the absolute best after all they've been through. But first, let's go check out the location. And this is what I have in mind. I've been expanding quite a bit in this direction, but as you can see, there's this cave underneath the castle. And at the moment, it's pretty ugly, but I see some great potential here. It's crawling with monsters, but we'll take care of them in just a second. And then I'm going to renovate this into the most amazing Ghast Sanctuary you have ever seen. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. It's going to be epic. But first, I need to light up all of the caves around this place, because I don't want to get bombarded by monsters every time I come here to do some building like that. Just like that. Anyway, take that, Mr. Skeleton. And once I've lit up all of these places, I need to get collecting some materials. It's going to be quite a significant build, and I'm going to need a lot of materials. But a lot of it is stone, and I have tons of stone. There's just a few other things that I need to grab, so I'm not going to bother with a boring old material collection montage. In fact, I think what we're going to do is jump straight into the building. So, here we go. And we finally have most of the digging done, and if we're looking at it right now, I'll be the first to admit it doesn't look very great. In fact, it looks quite chaotic. But I am working with a plan. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. So trust me on this one. It's going to be absolutely amazing once it's done. But yeah, right now it is looking very, very rough. I haven't I've been digging very nicely. The walls aren't nice and smooth, neither are the floors, and there's a lot that still needs to happen to both the ceiling and to this big old crater in the middle, so let's get cracking. And so our Ghast Sanctuary is finally complete. At least on the inside, I've added some water to the pond, I've added a few leaves just to make it look a little bit nicer, but we're not 100% finished. We've still got some work to do. If we take a look at the outside, you can see it is still far from nice. It looks a bit rough. It's still the original terrain, and yeah, it's not very nice terrain to start with, so I think we ought to do something about it. So here we go, one last look at the surrounding areas of the Ghast Sanctuary before we do some serious upgrades to the terrain. And there we go, it is looking absolutely magnificent. An exterior awesome enough to match the interior, and I think it looks amazing. And now there's only one thing left to do, and that is to finally place our poor little dried friends here into the pond so they can once again be rejuvenated, brought back to life, and live the life that they were supposed to have. And here we go. In goes our first little dried ghast, and he's gonna grow up to be big and strong as soon as he drinks enough. And then we'll just add number 2 and also number 3, and lastly ghast number 4 goes into the water. Now drink up, guys, become big and strong, and you can live as you were meant to. But that, ladies and gents, is unfortunately all we have time for today. It has been an absolute nightmare of an episode to make. I forgot to record, I almost died, and then I had to fly 25,000 blocks back home, and I even started streaming at one point by accident. So if you caught that, good on you. But this is Fungosaurus Rex saying, until next time, beautiful people, stay awesome. Bye-bye.